Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the continuation of the 1990 United States Hot Rod Association Camel Mud Racing and Monster Truck National Championship Series. I'm Brett Kepner, and along with 25-year motorsports broadcasting veteran Jerry Devine, we'll be covering the action this time around from Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, where the biggest and best of the U.S. Hot Rod Association World Championship Tour of the Bass for this incredible event. And Jerry, as far as monster truck racing goes, we've got one of the best fields ever.
Oh, you better believe it. Thousands of people are pouring into Anaheim Stadium, and it's under beautiful weather. It's going to be great weather for the best of competition. And in monster trucks, we've got them for you this afternoon. Bigfoot, of course, will be here, and he'll be taking on all of the challengers like Taurus and Barefoot. They're all here, and they're all going after the big money and the Camel Monster Series points.
Well, that's for sure, Jerry. And in mud racing, we've got the absolute best in the business here as well. We've got defending champion Ron Kirby of the incredible Pit Boss Jeep CJ, and one of the top female drivers in this super modified mud racing sport, Wendy Tarman, in the incredible supercharged Californian. Indeed, we're going to start things off with something we don't get a chance to see very often, the incredible unlimited mud racing division, when we return. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Camel Mud and Monster Series, brought to you in part by Kicker High-Performance Auto Speakers by Stillwater Designs. Brett?
I'll tell you, we're getting ready to kick things off here with the unlimited mud racing division, something we don't get a chance to see in U.S. Hot Rod Association racing much anymore. It's pretty much of an invitational. But one thing about the western seaboard of the United States, it has some of the best of these types of machines in the country, Jim.
All right, coming up, it's going to be the Mud Puck, driven by Ed Gerber. Ed is from Bakersfield, California. He'll be going against the Troublemaker, driven by Larry Harrison of Clipper Mills, California.
I'll tell you, fans of the ESPN coverage of U.S. Hot Rod Association mud racing will remember Larry Harrison's 64 Ford Galaxy with a supercharged 427 Ford. It is one of the slickest unlimited mud racing vehicles in the country.
Great run.
No question about it. A lot of standing water for Larry Harrison on the left side of your screen. The very first machine through the mud that usually has to deal with that water. But look at Gerber's time in the mud buck, 2.90 seconds. Well, as you can see, Harrison did have a little bit of a slower time at 3.13 seconds. Now remember, this is in 100 feet of mud. The national elapsed time record for this class stands at 2.37 seconds.
All right, next pair coming up. It's going to be Danny Stroy, driven by Kenny Glitman. And he's going to be facing the local mudder, driven by Miguel Guzman.
Guzman's machine, a supercharged thing, a funny car that Daddy's Toy had for a lightweight Chevy. Great race. Look at the finish line effort by the Daddy's Toy machine, completely sideways. Guzman can't stop. He's almost down by the crush guards, Jeff.
Blasting through the mud pit, great times.
No question, these guys are putting down some power. Look at the Daddy's Toy effort. Off the starting line, you can see the machine definitely hooking up, but watch this hard right-hand turn right there at the finish line into the berm. 3.23 seconds for the lightweight Chevy. Look at the body panels on this thing. Wild, wild ride.
Well, the next pair of machines is the plain old Chevy. He just calls it the plain old Chevy. Driven by Fred Stout of Santa Maria, California. He'll be going against the Titanic's Revenge, driven by Jim Winnick of Tucson, Arizona.
Well, Fred Stout, the Californian, the plain old Chevy, like you said, calling it as he sees it, is definitely a strong one. Wow! But amazingly, the Arizonian drives around on the other end. That was an upset and a half, Sheriff.
Great run for these mud bog racers. Look at him.
I tell you, he's taking a ride. Look at that man in the cockpit. He is working for a living. Definitely. Stout, the plain old Chevy, at 3.24 seconds, will right now qualify for those 4 quickest machines that will go into the championship dash. But here was the man that really impressed. Look at this thing, 6,000-pound vehicle, lifted the front wheels off the line, straight as an arrow, 2.51 seconds. Unbelievable run.
Putting the power down. All right, coming up next, it's going to be Bill Oliver with the unnamed and untamed. And look where he's sitting, right where the engine will be.
It's an unbelievable vehicle. 1941 Willys military vehicle, a rear-engine, supercharged Chevrolet. Driver, like you pointed out there, literally up against the front frame rail. He'll be up against the breathless Chevrolet. Christmas tree countdown goes to green.
Whoa, and look at the unnamed untamed Bill Oliver.
I'll tell you, those were 2 wild rides. Definitely Oliver had a phenomenal run in the rear-engine Willys, but then the breathless entry was all over the track. Look at this thing. All 4 wheels off the ground on the launch. 2.59 seconds, only 0.07 of a second behind the Titanic's Revenge machine. excellent run. The breathless entry in the meantime looked pretty strong off the starting line, but he also makes a hard move down at the finish line right there. 3.09 seconds will not get him in the quick four qualifiers at this point.
He kissed the wall, and that lost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, we have a very high berm down at the finish line, and that's going to affect these guys.
All right, here's the Mustang, Jim Dara. He's from Lompoc, California.
Tell you, people will remember this machine from a year ago here at Anaheim. He's up against Dave Izell in the empty pockets, relatively new Chevy step-side truck. That Ford-powered 69 Mach 1 can run with the best of them.
Next pair, ease it up to the starting line.
See the ground crew connecting the kill switch to the machines that will automatically shut the engine down at the finish line as per USHRA Association safety rules. They're ready.
Good fighter at the starting line.
Both machines, Jerry, ran into problems about three-quarter track. Certainly the Chevy step-side pickup having more problems for Ezell than for the Ford. We'll probably see that here on the replay. Leaves the starting line pretty nicely, but it looks like the ruts down there get mighty deep. 4.19 seconds for Ezell won't help him a bit as far as qualifying for the four-car shootout. The other lane, though, Dara's Mustang also had basically the same problem. He leaves the starting line, trying to correct to get around those ruts, but they almost sucked him right back in. The elapsed time, 3.06 seconds for the Ford Mach 1. That also will not get him into the Final Four.
Those ruts are getting a little deep over in both these lanes. All right, coming up next, it's going to be the Gold Bricker. This is driven by Paul Crafisi.
Las Vegas driver will be taking on Larry Harrison. We saw him earlier with his Ford Galaxy. This is his number 2 vehicle, the Wild Thing truck. Supercharged. Ford leads the line first in the far lane and annihilates Harrison's Chevy, which apparently broke about three-quarter track, or at least Harrison got out of it. On the replay, we'll see if Harrison's problems are easily identifiable. It looks like it left the line okay. The ruts didn't appear to be giving it a problem, and right there you can see it just down on power. 3.34 seconds won't help him a bit. The question is, will the Gold Bricker supercharged 460 cubic inch Ford make it into the quick four field? He leaves the starting line nicely down into the ruts. These 6,000-pounders sink to the bottom and then drive through the mud. He runs 2.66 seconds, and that'll get him in the shootout. There's no question the Unlimiteds present some of the most bizarre forms of machinery in motorsports today. We've got our 4 semifinalists to determine that championship title coming up. But right now, Jerry, we're going into probably the wildest war yet.
That's right. It's going to be the monster trucks. And the big names are here, like Bigfoot, Barefoot, Taurus. But some of the names you may not be familiar with, like Four-Wheel Crazier or the Exterminator. But they're all here, and on any given day, it's anybody's race.
That's for sure. And indeed, we'll be coming back with monster truck action from Anaheim Stadium. Stay with us.